We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about what happened to Bitcoin. Yesterday we were excited. Today we are depressed because the Bitcoin is down back to 67,547 per coin. And the question is why? Why did it happen? Why is it coming down? We thought a big God candle into the moon and then never come back, right? Why did it come down? We are going to look at it and explain it in a second here on the channel. Then also we have to talk about the European Central Bank because the the European Central Bank and some of their personnel, staff, whatever, is basically declaring war on Bitcoin. And we're also going to look at some other news around crypto that are important at the charts, at the indicators, see if we're still on track. And finally then we are going to go to Ecomi and VeVe and look a little bit at what's going on, what happened now that New York Comic Con is over. So make sure to stay tuned all the way through for all of this. And yeah, let's go. So, good morning to each and every one of you. May I ask you to smash the like button right now? Very important for the stream, for me, for us, that you smash the like button so YouTube understands that there's something to see here. Now, there are a lot of people here, actually. So this is unusual for Tuesdays. Tuesday usually the most difficult, the most complicated. We have Chris Klein saying good morning with with the look. Hey Chris, I added the Floki one. I added the Floki emoji, but I don't know if it's already available or if they have to check it first, because I did it only this morning, but I added it. Hey G Money, what's going on? GM bringing the coffee. Let's have a big sip of coffee here for everyone that is really in the morning. All the ones that are in the evening, depends on you if you want to drink coffee. MVE is also here, good morning. Dom Wu, good morning, welcome, new rare hodler. I hope you found yourself already on the screen. It's going to be, so I'm really running out of space. There's a little bit of space on the right of Dom Wu and then on the bottom right, but there's not too much. And the problem here is, oh, it worked. There's the Floki coin. Okay, so the problem now is that if we want new emojis, we need 10 more people to unlock the next emoji slot. 10 more people to become rare hodlers to unlock the next emoji slot. But then you guys tell me what it is. Also, Jonas is here. Good morning, Jonas. How are you doing? I heard Italy is introducing some really nasty taxes, or at least proposing that. So I hope that doesn't affect you too much. Then Hasululu is here. First time in this morning coffee in a while. Then we need to get better here. Just joking, but glad to have you. Slick Rick, what is going on? And yeah, with that, don't forget to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, with notifications on, and let's jump right into Bitcoin and see what's going on. So we have our pump. Let's go down to the daily because it becomes a little bit clearer. And we have retested. It's amazing to see on Twitter and social media and everywhere that people still don't understand the concept of impulsive and corrective moves. Like, there is no impulsive and impulsive move, right? So here's impulse and impulse, right? It sometimes happens, then it's just more impulse, but usually you have impulse, correct, right? So every hard move is followed by a corrective move. That also counts for bear market, where you have like collapse, corrective move, the next wave of collapse, right? It's just the same. So was listening to your videos but not live. Okay, then you're excused. Just joking. Glad to have you here on live stream. So we see now that after we have basically broken out here and taken out many levels and put in a higher high, we're just retesting, guys. We're just wrecking some of the long positions that everyone that got excited here just built up, right? It's just come back down, wreck everyone, and then go back. That's just how the market moves. That's just how whales move, right? That's just how exchanges maybe move, right? So we have this retest, supposedly very likely on top of this here. Yeah, you see this here. This is the same level. Nothing to be scared about. No, I didn't jinx it. Hey, Luca, what's going on? And we're still on track. So can this take a couple of days to play out? Yes, of course. Also, you have to see, yes, this was a nice breakout, but technically you would even expect the retest to come back on this flag, so that there's a wick down, touchdown to this flag. That would be 65k and then go, right? So that yesterday I said that this would be the normal behavior, but I could imagine, or I even thought, that we wouldn't get it. Well, here it is, we are getting the retest. It's even better, because if we get the retest and the confirmation, you know how we like this breakout and confirmation scenario on this channel, then that's even better. How does it look in the weekly? Well, it does look on the weekly exactly like you would want it to look, and this could, as I said, like you can see where this week forms a candle body, red directly down on this flag, right? And then it closes the week somewhere here in this range of 65, 66k. You could definitely see that. And then the next one, it's difficult to draw, but you can imagine. Then the next one, you're bouncing and boom, you're going to 73k or something like that. Just imagining some scenarios, right? But don't forget that with the weekly close here, we have done an important job, a really important job here for the breakout. We took out this with a candle body, right? Last time we have been as high was here, so we're not out of this turnaround just yet. But we broke out of the bull flag. We closed it insanely higher than that. We took out this here, so we formed a higher high, and we formed a higher low before here. So we have a nice uptrend. So this retest is more than justified. Also, if you want to see, right, the concept is the same here, right? Impulse, correct, right? We had it here as well. Next impulse, correct. Then next impulse. Normal behavior. And also you have to see that whales, institutions, everyone is just waiting now, because in less than 2 weeks there's the US elections. And everyone wants to wait for US elections, right? Because markets hate uncertainty. And the elections will bring a big certainty, and that is who is leading, and at least on paper, right? Who is leading on paper? The US, right? Who is leading? But retest. Why retest? Here. This is why. let me drag this a little bit to the side. This is the liquidation heat map on the weekly. You can find it on CoinGlass yourself. You don't have to have any pro account or so to find that. And you see these big longs, and you also see where there were a lot of shorts placed, right? So this was around the 20th of October, and now we are 22 of October. So shorts, longs, what does the market do? It pumps unexpectedly out of this bull flag into the shorts and liquidates them all and pumps a little bit more, right? So everyone, like all the bears, wrecked. At the same time, while this is happening, this breakout, everyone, oh, it's a breakout, let's not wait for confirmation, let's pile on longs with leverage, right? So this is the yellow lines here. What does the market do? Immediately turns around and liquidates them all. You see this here, right? Technically, there's a little bit more. So maybe we're turning around and also liquidate those. Who knows? This could happen still throughout the next days. But bottom line here is that the market makers, whales, exchanges, everyone, they wrecked everyone that was short, and now they wrecked everyone who was long, and then we are good to go. This is what happened. This is the only logical single explanation for the price behavior that we're having right now. So smash up the like button for that one. And I think this is good for like if you're a trader, this is relevant. If you're a hodler, it's not really relevant. You can just buy here. No one can liquidate you. No one can do this to you because you just bought and you're just hodling. So this is like MicroStrategy cannot get liquidated that way, right? If you have debt that lets you invest in another way, then technically you have a leverage and technically you can get margin called, right? But it also depends. Like if you have $1,000 in debt and you have $50,000 in Bitcoin, then it's very difficult that you can get margin called. But if you have more debt than your actual investment is, then you have some pretty severe leverage on your hand, right? So you can also see that in for example, in housing markets or so, like someone takes out a loan of $1 million, buys a house, then the value of the houses collapse in a crisis down to 250K per house for the same house, and then person loses their job, then is forced to sell the house to service the debt at 250K, so you're left without a house and then 750K private bankruptcy, right? So that's how leverage goes wrong, or that's how this margin call really goes wrong, right? So not good at all. Debt is fine if you use it as an instrument, but overall not so great. Now now we are coming to something that is really wild. Right? Because it ties into this story of, oh, you have invested in crypto, in a year or so you are actually you're actually getting some money, and everyone will call you lucky. But not only that, you're not only lucky, you're basically a criminal for making money and others not, right? So basic concept of investing. But look at this. So these guys, I'm going to spare the insult, but these guys is Ulrich Bindseil and Jürgen Schaaf, both from the European Central Bank. They came out with a paper called The Distributional Consequences of Bitcoin. So, and the same guys, they came out before calling that the last stand of Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was literally at the bottom at 15K or 15,500. Anyways, so they are saying the original promise of Nakamoto 2008 to provide the world with a better global means of payment has not materialized. Well, they could say, until here that's fine, because they could still argue that it's not really, it's more like gold, it's not the means of payment and so on. But instead, the focus has increasingly shifted to Bitcoin as an investment asset promising high capital gains. Promoters of this investment vision put little effort relating Bitcoin to an economic function which could justify its valuation. While most economists argue that Bitcoin boom is a speculative bubble that will eventually burst, we analyze in this paper the impact of Bitcoin positive scenario in which its price continues to rise in the foreseeable future. So the ECB is aware that basically of the fundamental principle that Bitcoin is a hedge against their money, against their debasement, right? So they are not saying that it's speculative bubble and going to implode. What sounds intuitively promising, or at least not harmful, is problematic. Now it comes. Since Bitcoin does not increase the productive potential of the economy, so this is funny, right? Since Bitcoin does not increase the productive potential of the economy, now you think like, wait a second, and what does? Like gold? Or if, right? The consequences of the assumed continued increase in value are essentially redistributive, i.e., the wealth effects on consumption of early Bitcoin holders can only come at the expense of consumption of the rest of society. Wow! Society has to pay for you being early in an asset class, in an investment. That like you are the bad guy because you have Bitcoin. If the price of Bitcoin rises for good, the existence of Bitcoin impoverishes both non-holders and latecomers. Now it comes here. It's like classic victim 101. While previous discussions on the redistributive effect of Bitcoin assumed that badly timed trading was a necessary condition for losses, this paper shows that neither poor timing of trades nor holding Bitcoin at all are necessary for impoverishment under Bitcoin positive scenario. So really crazy. It's like 15 years of Bitcoin, and basically these guys are coming out and saying to non-holders or people that are coming into the market, you have little or nothing right now because others have Bitcoin. This is so crazy, but it ties into the same, like eat the rich and whatever, like all these things. But it gets more wide. Let's look into the text, into some things. This is crazy, right? This implies that the wealth effects associated with it would be viewed as a zero-sum game. In absolute terms, early adopters exactly increased their real wealth and consumption at the expense of the real wealth and consumption of those who do not hold Bitcoin or who invest in it only at a later stage. This is insane because they're advocating for, obviously this paper is meant to take steps against Bitcoin and Bitcoin holders, right? In terms of taxes, in terms of regulation, in terms of even forbidding or whatever, right? So, but what they're actually saying is, boo-hoo, we did not invest in it, so we want it gone, and we're basically moving the masses against it by defining basically what is classic investment 101. This is so this is absolute insane. Like this text, early adopters increase their real wealth and consumption at the expense of the real wealth and consumption of those who do not hold Bitcoin. That is true. Like that is true for every investment. Like early adopters of gold would technically increase their wealth by holding gold. Wow, but they are also letting go of something, right? Like early adopters of Bitcoin, they put money into it instead of spending it, right? Early adopters of Amazon stock, they use their money to buy the stock. Now they have more money as before. Unfair! Take it from them. Oh my God, this is so crazy. And then, what's even more crazy, like here, the new Lamborghini, Rolex, Villa, as if everyone that is in crypto has like Lamborghini, Rolex status, right? Portfolios by early Bitcoin investors do not stem from an increase in the economy's production potential. Rather, they are financed by diminishing consumption and wealth of those who initially do not hold Bitcoin. Let that sink in. The new Lamborghini, Rolex, and equity portfolios by early Bitcoin investors are financed by diminishing consumption and wealth of those who initially do not hold Bitcoin. These are ECB guys. You know what's crazy about this? They're basically saying with this, if you're not buying Bitcoin, your wealth is diminishing. They basically assert it. They basically say everyone has to buy Bitcoin. They're basically saying that, and now it's even crazier because these guys are from the ECB. These guys are from the very institution that is printing the money, that is debasing other people's purchasing power. And they are now saying, Bitcoin bad, take it from them. These guys are to blame. These guys are to blame. Who has the money printer? Like this Lamborghini, Rolex, and so on is basically sponsored by ECB money printing. Basically sponsored by it, right? It's crazy. They are financed by diminishing consumption and wealth of those who initially do not hold Bitcoin. Yeah, but if they start holding Bitcoin, they get out. They don't tell it. This redistribution of wealth and purchasing power is unlikely to occur without detrimental consequences for society. Listen, the Bitcoin is only a function of math. It's only a function. You basically create an asset. You cannot do more. You can never create more of it. It's funny because with gold, they do not have a problem because it's not finite. That's one thing. Like you can mine more if you find a new gold mine or some asteroid or whatever. But also, central banks are in control of massive amounts of gold, like central banks, institutions, and so on. With Bitcoin, it's a little bit different. The plebs are in control of Bitcoin, at least for now, right? Even if the latecomers cannot attribute their loss of purchasing power, they will feel a malaise and frustration that will contribute further to an even more split society. Now, I would argue that Bitcoin has no blame in a split society, right? I mean, it's like 1 trillion of the world's wealth has poured into Bitcoin. Nothing, but they know it will be more. But I would say that the loss, like, why do people even have diminishing consumption and wealth? Why? Because their labor effort, the same 8 hours that they spend every day at work, from a year to now, have diminished in return. The same amount of work results in less return unless you got a raise. Unless you got a raise that is exceeding real inflation, like probably something like 8%, right? 8% average every year, right? You need a salary raise of at least 8.1% that you're outperforming this effect. So everyone obviously is feeling it, and now they're like, Bitcoin to blame. Bitcoin is the one thing that is causing problem here in society. Like most people don't even know what the fuck Bitcoin is. Or they know what it is, but I think it's like for money laundering and criminal activities and deep web, dark web, hackers, right? Because if you watch mainstream movies and things, it's like that's like if you watch movies and TV series like criminal CIA stuff, whatever, from about 5 to 8 years ago. It's like there's like always this small scene. And by the way, this terror thing has been funded with crypto. Like always in a buy sentence. So now half of your family is believing that this stuff is like somewhere between gambling and deep web criminal activity. Anyways, ranting. Nonetheless, this doesn't stop governments from piling on more debt. Like here's another $500 billion on top of US debt just because that will create more interest rate, that will have to be refinanced, right? And I think like this jump, like this, it went parabolic, right? If you see this, there's only one answer, and I will not say it myself. I will pull up this video because I think it's just great. And let's listen to this together. Let's get the chat to this side. I think that's better. By the way, Green Lantern, GM, fellow hodlers, good morning, Jinxmeister. I will not accept this. I will not accept this. I didn't jinx anything. Thanks. Smash the like button and listen to this, guys.
So what do you see? What's the future, the near term and the longer term future that you envision for Bitcoin?
Oh my gosh. This thing's going to hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin, Charles. I mean, the US government is in so much debt. The way I think about Bitcoin's price equals technology plus fiat liquidity. So it's going to go up because it's innovative tech and it's better money. But what really shoots it up at a neck-breaking pace is when our government is tens of trillions of dollars in debt and has to roll that debt over. So they got a lot of money to print and financial assets are going to soar. And Bitcoin goes up the most because it's the hardest to make more of. It's over, man. This thing's going to the moon. You know, so interesting, too, because it's not just the U.S. I was just reading today, globally, these countries, these advanced nations and all this fiat currency are going to have to spend $2 trillion on the interest alone, and they won't stop spending, Jack. They just won't stop spending money, and it's coming back to haunt them, and it's coming back to maybe people realizing fiat currency is not the place to be, huh? Charles, this would be my message to America. Give me a second on this one. Guys, the U.S. government's got about $10 trillion over the next 2 years to roll over, refinance. That's debt. Our country's in debt. It's a huge problem. They got three options. One, they could pay it back. It's not a real option because we don't got the money. We're broke. Two, our government could come out, Charles, and say, you know what, guys, we screwed up. After World War II, we changed the way money worked. We got off the gold standard. We issued debt all over the place. We got way too cocky. And actually, all of our banks don't have your money. They're insolvent. All the airlines you fly and travel on aren't actually good businesses that should be in business. Healthcare shouldn't actually be free. We screwed up. We piled on so much debt and screwed up the younger generation, and we're in huge trouble. So we're going to have to let everything fail and reset this country. Now, they're not going to do that, are they, Charles? They have third option, which is unique to the government. They could print the money that they're missing. And when they print the money that they're missing, they're stealing from all the people that hold US dollars. And so what they'll do, they'll have to do is print dollars. And the only way to save yourself is own not dollars. And that's when you see things like the S&P 500 and gold and Bitcoin soar. And so that's what's going to happen over the next 2 years. They got to print 3 times more than they did during.
That's enough. That's enough on the rant. But yeah, very true. If you do it, if you print money in your basement, you go to jail, right? You can't. But there is a way to protect your wealth, which wasn't before, and that's Bitcoin, right? A finite, it could be something else, but it's the only finite resource that we have, right? So people are figuring that out at the moment, because if you debase too much of their monetary wealth, basically, of what they have in cash, then, like, if you deduct 10% every year of people, they start feeling it at some point. They start feeling that 4 grocery bags are only 2 now, and somehow they're purchasing less with more money. That's what people were feeling, especially after the pandemic, right? So crazy stuff. But this is what has to happen. So the US has to refinance 10 trillion, and they also have to lower the rates so that the impact is not as high, right? And this is going to happen in 16 days, right after the election. And at the moment, the market is factoring in another rate cut of 25 basis points on the 7th of November. So that obviously also means that they are not strengthening, like de-strengthening, weakening the dollar, which then means that people go out of the dollar into other investments to get more return. What these guys from the ECB don't understand is that whatever is being done, people will, now that they have more financial literacy thanks to crypto, they will find ways to outperform this and to not get debased, right? There will always be a way. And gold was the way for 5,000 years and more. Now it's Bitcoin, right? So a new age, a new dawn is here, like a new thing. And that ultimately will lead to, it is, they're right, it is a wealth transfer. Because technically you have 300 trillion wound up in bonds that actually don't make any sense, right? So, like the return for many people is just 0 to nothing to negative here. So there's 120 trillion in cash. They have to go to somewhere, otherwise they just get debased, deprinted, whatever. Real estate is fine. Real estate also protects. That's why the prices are coming up. And if we are waiting for lower real estate prices on nominal, it's not going to happen. The only thing that can happen is that you need less Bitcoin for the same real estate over time, which is actually happening, right? And then you have 115 trillion in equities, you have 6 trillion in cars and collectibles, and then another 18 trillion in art. So you also see that this whole market for art and collectibles is like a $24 trillion market. This is actually crazy. Like, just pointing, like, wink, wink. Have you heard about VeVe and so on? But okay, I'm not saying that 22 trillion is going to pour into VeVe, but that VeVe can be a little chunk of this. And I mean, even if you would pump only $1 billion into VeVe right now, it probably would go completely nuts, everything in the app. Then you have 16 trillion, I think it's even more, I think it's now 18 trillion dollars of gold at current price valuation. And then you have this Bitcoin price, right? I mean, the market cap of Bitcoin is like 1.3 trillion. And it should get a part of the allocation that is in gold, a part of the allocation that is in bonds, and all of the allocation that is in money, right? Technically, that would be the true potential, which would be somewhere beyond the 100 trillion, right? So 100x from here would be the ultimate. I mean, it's not tomorrow, it's not next cycle, it's not in 2 cycles, obviously, but there's also more printed. So all of these values will be higher once we're looking at it the next time because of the money printing, right? And that also means you can't forever measure Bitcoin in dollars because that only shows you how you're hedging your debasement. You have to technically calculate a price of a bigger asset and see if Bitcoin is outperforming that price. So for example, you take the flat or the house that you want to buy, you take this price and you see how many Bitcoins do I need to buy this. Like for example, what is the price right now? So let's say you want to buy a house for 600k, right? Or 700k. So right now it would be 10 Bitcoin. So let's say Bitcoin pumps, doubles in price, you would need 5 Bitcoin for the same, right? Maybe the house price went up a little bit, so you might need 6, whatever, right, during that time. But then you see, the price for the house actually came down by 4 Bitcoin. And that's the way to calculate. That's the way to decouple a little bit from that. Well, while we were waiting for this retest to be concluded, and then for the next leg to really fire, we're also looking at the same retest in a mirrored version at USDT dominance, right? Very likely coming up a little bit more and then collapsing. That is what we ideally see, that we fall out here and then really get our big leg up. DXY is still going up. I think it might be the end of this dollar move, but we can never know. So the dollar going on a weird strength rise, but it's losing steam here. So maybe, sorry, as you can see, It's losing steam here, but so maybe topping out here and then turning around. Maybe more likely at around in 16 days, right? We could go somewhere like this, and in 16 days we will see it maybe lose a little bit on the next rate cut. Gold is still skyrocketing. It's trying to still go higher, which, as you know, Bitcoin at some point is following the trajectory of gold. Then also, it's not the retest has already happened on altcoins. This is the altcoin market, but it's still in a corrective sideways. But the retest and the breakout has already happened. We're just waiting for the next move to get higher. Here you see it. So the yellow line is the ideal line for the altcoins over the next months, like into February. Approach previous all-time high, and then we'll see. But the the altcoin market should benefit. Bitcoin dominance is not different from yesterday, not really. Slightly red. The entire market moves up and down together at the moment, so Bitcoin not really outperforming. We are waiting for that as well to see whether it continues or comes back down. We're a little bit outside of what I expected would happen. So we will see on the next rally how it's going. Crypto market in general, let's look at it. On the day, we are very mixed. Almost everything is red. On the week, we have some pumpers, as we saw yesterday. ApeCoin, Doge, it didn't really move. We have some new here. So there is Goat. Goat CS Maximus is apparently pumping like crazy. 3x over the last week. This wasn't here yesterday. So this seems to be another meme coin. Like, I mean, what the heck? It's just so crazy what happens in the space, right? GigaChat 30%. Radium is pumping. Like, this is a DEX on Solana, right? Safe. What is this? Like Safe. This Safe is not Safe Moon, I guess. Hopefully not. Then also in the top 300 we have Virtual doing a 2.5x plus Deep, also Deep Book Protocol. And then you have UpCX plus Checks plus Cat and so on. All of them are pumping. The rest, not really. The rest is sideways. Let's see a little bit more. What else is moving like crazy? Dia, right? Someone suggested to buy Dia coin on the altcoin stream, so we are happy about the 40% move here. Also, Heart is pumping a little bit. So in the top 400, not really that much. But there's a big math is 150% here on the top 500. A couple of others like 30. Nothing too crazy yet. So we are really waiting for altcoin season to see what's going on. Do you think it's still time to buy some alts? I think so because some of them just didn't really fly off just yet. I think it could be, but you have to do it with a smaller, or like with a lower time horizon, right? So maybe one strategy could be to identify a coin that is still flagging along, still moving sideways, right? And that might be breaking out in the future. And then once it breaks out and does a couple of X's, like 2-3x, just take your initial investment and look for the next coin and let the rest sit as a moonbag. Or I don't know, take not financial advice, but take maybe the initial investment plus some profit so that you feel well, and then to put the profit aside and then buy the next coin with it, and then rinse repeat, right? Because at some point all of these, if you do some like rudimentary basic TA on them, that could already help, right? So for example, let's see if we have any coins that look like this. Like let's look at Link. Let's look at Link market cap, Link US dollar. So for example, maybe, I don't know. I mean, Chainlink is super big, so there's no real reason. By the way, this is like I don't know where I have a chart that I actually, this is the Bitstamp chart that I charted. I don't know. But, so let's go back to the Bitstamp chart. So for example, this is like super crazy. Look at this. Like we have been outlining this base even. Like here, this base forming. Like falling channel in the bear market, and then it basically retested here. Like if you let's put this, it basically retested this right here, and now it's coming back up. Yeah. So this could be one, like if you're more to the safe side. It's already, like Chainlink is already around since a long time, but this is probably like, this is also right, impulse, correction, let's go, right? Third wave. So this is the first wave. So what I would expect here for Chainlink, for example, but you can name whatever other coin, is, I would also say this like 1, 2, and now the wave 3 has started. Wherever it goes, like past all-time high, we don't know, or to the all-time high, and then you have a corrective move 4, and then a 5, right? Something like this. Yeah, also look for rounding bottoms. That also works pretty well. Let's see. There was, I don't know if we can find it, but there was Chili's in the last cycle. Let's find a chart where actually Chili's is before the pump. I don't know which. I don't know. It was not on many exchanges before the last pump. Many exchanges don't have the chart anymore. Like Chili's, Bitget, all these exchanges were not around. I don't know, man. I don't even know if we will still find one that has the entire chart history. But Chili's was one of those with like many like extreme rounded bottoms. But I can find it maybe on CoinLore. We can still see it. I don't know if we can see it actually. Chili's on CoinLore. You usually get yeah, here you see it, right? You can even see it a little bit. So if you look at the red part, you see these long rounding bottoms, and it just does the same thing basically again here, right? Does the same thing. Let's see. I don't know if I can zoom in here. Let's see if I can zoom into this. Actually, I can with shift. So you see this? Like this is what Chili's did before it even broke out. Like it was at 0.015 or so, and it had this mega rounding bottoms. And then from there, it just went completely ballistic, completely nuts, right? So this is something to look at. Yeah, another one is VeChain, obviously, but these are coins from the last cycle. So I think the best thing is, so I'm personally extremely bullish on VeChain, but to each their own, right? This is a long time ago. I see, I had here. Okay, that's not a good chart. Let's see, VET dollar, VET on Coinbase, VET on Binance. Okay, there's a little bit more. So, we are still waiting for the move right here, but we're still on it. Look at that. This is a long time ago that I didn't look at VeChain. But VeChain, I mean, VeChain also has this like the rounding bottom, cup and handle, breaks out, comes back, higher low. We will see. But somehow the trajectory should be like that. What else did you have here? Oh yeah, GRT, obviously. GRT versus that's versus UST. We don't want that. We want it USDT. The graph USDT on Binance. So there are many coins, but I mean, the moonbag strategy would be finding a smaller coin like MCATE or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Guy Thompson, the MCATE price prediction, lots of big catalysts coming. MCATE, let's look at the MCATE on Bitmart. Okay. So yeah, MCATE is the perfect example, basically, for not having broken out, where you see like price gets compressed, upward sloping. Yeah, it might be breaking out at some point. This is the weekly chart, right? So what's crazy with MCATE is basically that you have these two super far out bottoms. So MCATE is more likely to also have this trajectory. Like, I think it will take a long time still for MCATE to really break out, right? That's different from coin to coin, right? Let's see here. Yeah, something like this, right? You have this and this and then this, bam, right? But I think it will. I mean, it's hard diluted. Also, what's really nice to see is that the volume is really coming back, and it's still flat. So I might have to buy some more MCATE, to be honest. Looking at that, I mean, it's not the most like super crazy bullish chart, but so for example, AVAX is already a whole nother story. If you look at AVAX, like this is the prime of a bullish chart, where you have this mega resistance, you break out. Here's your, again, corrective, retest, go. It's like the same like chain link, where you have your wave 1, 2, and now the 3, right? It will come, whatever, something like this, right? Deep corrective wave, maybe something like this. I don't know where it could end, but that would be a $280 AVAX or something like that. It can go way higher. I mean, who knows? Great narrative, gaming AI based, big exchanges coming, first cycle, great team, and tokenomics. I agree. I think MCATE is really nice. Hopefully it will get some traction as infrastructure, because many people are like on the game. Like, I think like Naka. Let's look at Nakamoto game also. Nakamoto games. Yeah, so for example, Nakamoto games is also one of these, like, it's this cycle coin, and these look like this, right? They started, completely got wrecked, and then yeah, it's basically go time. You have not much to chart, other than that you have like super big support here, and then you have the same thing as I said before, like all of these coins, 1, 2, and then boom, right? There you go. It's like, extend this a little bit, something like this, right? So everything is waiting for the wave 3, right? So yeah, who knows? But this could be something that we expect. Did you buy OMI recently? Not recently. I didn't buy any new OMI. Speaking of which, I think we have to go to the OMI now. I mean, there's not much to say, unfortunately, still. Little bit of a green one here, a little bit of a green day, which is good, right? So let's see if there's something unfolding. This is actually, the green one is nice, but it's not good. So you have you had this resistance, you lost it, bearish retest, and you go lower, right? Probably not yet a turnaround. At some point it will, like all these coins where you think it's dead, it will turn around, very likely. But you see very clearly that there is a massive resistance here that is coming lower and lower and lower, like this, right? All these wicks. What you want to see at some point is like a pump outside of this, a retest maybe, and then go. So we're really not here. Can you look at OTK? Sure. OTK. Oh, that's the indicator tab, sorry. Let's actually not use Ecomi for that. Let's use this one here. OTK USDT. There's only one, Octo Gaming, right? This is also crazy. Like, imagine you had bought this here, right? It's like dump. Someone, boom, someone really dumped like a hell of a lot of USDT into it. It actually took out the starting point where you would say, okay, so you see, there's also not much to chart on this, but you kind of see the support here. The only thing that I would like that I would like to see a little bit more is like some action to the upside now, that you can say, okay, this test here, like what you don't want to see is something like this, right? So where you're, boop, right? But the fact that someone went like really crazy on this is yeah, insane. Yeah, you really don't want to see like this compressing down until you lose it. So at some point, an upwards trajectory would be nice, something like this, right? Yeah, not much to say. Also, you have this. This is the opposite of. I like the volume profile more on MCAD, because here you don't have any volume, right? So it just went away. Volume flatlined as this is fizzling out. So yeah, I would like to see some more like volume increase here, to be honest. So not too happy with this chart, to be honest. I mean, this is nice, but now we need to see something. How much OMI do you have for now? 4.3 million, not much. Just 4.3 million. By the way, we have 40 people here in this Crypto Morning Coffee, so please smash up the like button right now. And yeah, it becomes increasingly more important that we're looking at altcoins, obviously. What would be by the way, let's see also how is Bumper doing. Bump USDT. Oh, that's what the heck? I think that's only on Bitmart, but look at this candle. It's like in all directions without any volume. Also here, right? Like Bumper. I mean, they're not dead. I saw they are posting, but here, like this is really. Let's remove this. I mean, there's not much to chart on these other than, hey, you're going lower and you want to break this. So this is a coin that has not broken out. The volume was massive here. Now it's gone. We will have to see how this turns out. And by the way, this is like uncharted territory. And this wick is insane. Let's look at the other exchange. Yeah, okay. So you have it here as well. It's just to the upside. So yeah, this is going down until it's not, right? So pretty crazy. That looks different than the chart I'm looking at on Dex Screener. Okay, you mean OTK, right? Let's OTK. I only have OTK USDT Octo Gaming, so that's the only chart I can see for OTK. Yeah, the one on KuCoin. It's the only one that I can see. The others are like other coins, but yeah. So maybe maybe it is, I don't know if your Dex Screener chart is maybe against ETH or so. I don't know. Or either or, I don't know. Let's look at Ecomi. Like also Ecomi, like the volume. What we really want to see is, though, like this is something we want to see, and it could be happening. Once it's happening, we expect a pump, the bull cross on the TSI, right? At some point, we expect this to happen. Once the market flies off, we actually already have our bull cross on the MACD. So at some point, we would expect a turnaround here, hopefully. AI tech will be fine. AI tech. Okay. AI tech. Let's look at AI tech as well. AI tech. AI tech USDT. Not much chart on this. Let's see if there's more, or if this only. There's Solidus AI tech. Is that the same? I think, right? So how is the KuCoin chart? No, that's not the same. Which one is the correct one? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know which one the correct one is. Gate.io. Is that it? Solidus AI tech? I mean, it's clearly that we clearly see the support here, right? Whatever, if it is or not, but I mean, it's very clear it was basically. Can we talk one day about exit strategies? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, Solidus. So here is Solidus, right? So you pump, went into resistance, came back, came up, resistance again, pumped out, flipped it into support, and now you want to go, right? So this basically, it's the same like with OTK chart that I saw, whether it's the correct one or not, but you really want to have, I mean, you can come down more, but you want to have the next move, right? At some point. But okay, fine. Also, like big volume, no volume, right? Now you want to have big volume again. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah. That's basically it. So for VeVe, let's look at VeVe. So there we go. So for VeVe, the NYCC has ended. Let's look at this well. NYCC has ended. They have done really a lot to promote. Like yesterday, we have seen eBay Live, TikTok sales, and so on. So they have done a lot of these interviews, videos, and so on. They have done a lot of drops. I think they have also been grossing a lot. Let's look at, so there's Living Aloha. And so Living Aloha is putting out sometimes these like all the drops, how they went. So you have like here, day 4, total drops, crafts not included, total mints 29,000, withheld 27, and so on. Gross revenue $235,000, right? Days for 4 days of drops for VeVe. So that's not too shabby. I mean, also probably not that much, but then there's secondary market fees. Also on top, there's VeVe Comics on top, and so on. So I think for 4 days, that's fine. Like this quarter million US dollars, right? So we see a little bit what's happening, right? So here we can also see like Red Storm sells out. Let's see, sells out. Right, gross revenue $16,000, and then plus secondary transactions. So, yeah. What's your subscriber target by end of year? 10K, 20K? I don't know, man. Because to be honest, it depends on whether the bull run is going in full mode already or not, right? But 10K would be nice. I think 10K would be a nice target. But yeah, I also have to step up my game for that. That's for sure. And there, as you know, there are a lot of things going on at the moment. So, but yeah, 10K subscribers, that would be nice. That would be really nice. We are getting there. We are going to grow. But yeah, it's a good question. So if Bitcoin pumps, it will be easier to reach the target. If Bitcoin doesn't pump that much, it will not happen. The moment that altcoins go crazy left and right, you will just gain like insane amounts of subscribers. What do you think the net on 240k after license fees and overhead producing collectibles? Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Actually, I'm very bad at calculating that stuff. But let's say they have to spend like they have to spend 50% of the total, then they are at 120k. I don't know. Taxes, they have to pay taxes, right? They have to pay for NYCC, probably booth and so on. That's not much. That's probably like, what's a booth on these trade shows? It's like 10k, 15k. All the setup people, that's something. I mean, they for sure will have something left over. The question is, how much is it, right? But you also have to calculate that this is only the raw primary, right? That's only what happened on primary sale. That's not secondary fees. But yeah, I mean, it could be more. But also, if you see like the drops, some of these drops, like the metallic red and so on, they're really sold out. Like the red storm sold out. Then the sanity is just, this is something on top for them, because the sanity is like, that's the one from Swaggle. Even that is giving like 3k. So of that, obviously Swaggle gets something. I mean, that's not like super big monies, but it's something, right? Cassandra's base sells 70%. Gross revenue is 7k, right? So all these drops, they raked in like 5, 6, 7k. Yeah. You need a plan to fit all the rare hodlers on screen. The plan is to fit until there's no fit anymore. We will see. Once I'm really at this problem, like maybe I can shrink like everyone a little bit, and then I have space for 5 more. But at some point, it's just too crazy. Also, to keep track of, I think I will have to close it at some point, like that. Only like maybe with the mint 50 or so, it's over, right? Then everyone's like the early adopters. Who knows, right? At some point, only the ones that made it on the screen are on the screen. Like, who knows? Or I will, like, I don't know. I cannot shrink forever, right? I cannot shrink everything forever. That's just impossible. Anyways, that problem is coming sooner or later. Yeah, I mean, it's a luxury problem to have, but yeah. So what's next for VeVe? I mean, NYCC is over. Now, probably there will be this recovery phase after all of these drops that they had, Assassin's Creed and these VeVe. Also, by the way, what's also not in the gross revenue is that people spend $50 on comic packs and $25 on fig pins, right? So if they sold 1,000 fig pins, they have an additional $25,000. Yeah, I don't know how many they sold, but for sure it's going to be 1,000 pins. So these, and then if they sold a couple of hundreds of these comics, they also have $25 or $50 depending on the pack, where they also get some money. So this calculation is not, it's not everything, right? So you I would say like in total sales they should be more like beyond the 300k if you consider all the physical digital stuff there, right? I hope the first anime won't be in pin form. I thought we already have like the first with Ultraman. Isn't that like the Ultraman is already the first one, I thought. But anyways, yeah, it's good. Also, like the KFC collaboration, I think it gives a lot of visibility. Also, if you look, the pump from NYCC, the user pump is continuing. We looked yesterday here. It was beyond 603, by the way. But if you see like 456 to 656, that's 200 people, 200 new wallets with at least also have a collectible on VeVe, right? 200. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's not too bad for the status of NFTs, and no one cares about NFTs. I guess we have Astro Boy. That's also true. Yeah, Astro Boy also is anime, right? Yeah, so VeVe user numbers going up. That is good to see. Like the user numbers going up, 200 out of about 1 week of drop action and so on is also good. No corrective move, also good. Like people bought their collectibles, they keep them. Really nice. So the movement on VeVe is fine for me. I also think that the revenue that they're making on the drops is fine. So they're not out of business like other projects, which is really good. And I think now with crypto excitement, it will really help them. So I think they should work a little bit more on the OMI side so that they can attract new users via the OMI token, which is necessary, right? It's necessary. So you can't go forever with like only 200 to 300 new users every month. Then you will take forever to get to like mass adoption. But I think like once the crypto degen market is on, and it's not yet, once it's on, it will be really nice for VeVe. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, and smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on so that you never miss out. And yeah, wherever you are on the world, have a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. I see you in the next Crypto Morning Coffee tomorrow and or in the next video. Have a good one, everyone, and bye.